for Flabonga Monthrothacube. With Dale and Tony breaking all the rules. Talking tech, biz, and straight up chaos. Quick fire guests, oh yeah, we slay those.
Good afternoon. My name is Dale Rodriguez, and this is a Flabonga Monthrothacube. With me today, I've got my two awesome guests.
Mike Crocker from Gravitate Accounting.
Smash that. We were just loving the jingle, to be fair.
It's catchy. And our other guest is
Sam from Gravitate.
Cool. Thank you both for joining me. You've been on the show before, Sam, but people who are new to the channel might not know who you guys are. So could either of you or both of you give an overview of yourselves, what you do, and why you do it? Let's start with Mike first.
Okay, so like I said, I'm Mike from Gravitate. So I have worked with Sam scaling up Gravitate Accounting. I generally work in the background, so people probably aren't familiar with myself. But yeah, so that's me, and that's what I do.
Yeah, so Sam, like I say, we set up Gravitate. It's like 6.5 years ago now. So it now is a long time. It always felt quite short, but I think when we got into the sixes, felt fairly long. We started off as an pure accountancy practice. Like I say, we were lucky to be born in the cloud era, digital accounting era. So took advantage of all the tech and ran with it. And now we're a team of 33. We've got a corporate finance arm to the business, a tax arm to the business. Payroll all in-house now, which is nice. That's all evolved over the 6 years. And yeah, we're just excited to see what comes next for Gravitate. Just keep grafting. Just hard work is really more than anything. And yeah, see what comes next.
You said you start off as a pure accounting firm.
Yeah.
This is a weird way to phrase it, but what's an impure accounting firm, or what's things you do that are not pure accountancy anymore? Because a lot of people who aren't in the finance space, they don't understand the difference maybe between bookkeeping, accounting, payroll. So what can you break it down for people who don't know the difference?
Yeah, it's probably a bad descriptive word, to be fair, because we've never just been pure anything. But like, I suppose our sole focus was, like I say, accounting. Accounting was at the heart of what we did. So I set the business up. Mike joined within a few months. Jonathan, another director of ours, joined. So like all of our team to start with were accountants. So we're all very similar, because a lot of people will say, oh, when you're scaling, like recruit into different arms of the business. But for us, we were loving what we were doing in that space. And so we're actually all really similar, all similar backgrounds, all practice mainly. And yeah, so it was, I suppose, how we grew the business is we were doing a lot of like the fractional or outsource FD work. That's how it started for me. Did that for 6 months. Quickly became clear that I was just building a consultancy business that wasn't scalable. So me and Mike had been chatting all the time anyway, and it was a bit of a case of, he was saying, oh, I love what you're doing, I might do it myself. I think the difference in Mike's situation, when I set up Gravitate, I had no kids. Mike already had 2 kids, or one on the way. Yeah. So your situation was slightly different. So we decided, look, well, I was more than happy, like to say, look, why don't we just get a valuation for Gravitate? I'll sell you half of it, and then we'll scale it together, because we're getting the money. We've got the money coming in, but it's just not scalable. So why don't you come in with the focus of building something scalable around the outsource FD work and stuff we had. So yeah, we do. We do all the standard compliance stuff, your accounts, year ends, personal tax returns. But the stuff we loved doing was like the management accounts, outsource FD, budgeting, forecasting, and just like getting into businesses and working really close with them. And that's still a lot of the kind of work we do. So yeah, probably pure accounting is not the best descriptive word, but all in that umbrella of accounting, essentially.
I think when we started, I think what you realise is the thing that we started with is the thing that we really enjoyed, which is the advisory side of it. And that was the focus when Sam set it up. He was like, that's the bit I want to do, and want to really help clients to be hands-on. But inadvertently, what you do is you create an accountancy practice. So you're like, oh, right, okay, so they need the accounts doing, they need the payroll doing, they need all this sort of stuff doing. So
Yep.
I think when me and you met, you were struggling to keep up with that sort of day-to-day churn of the normal stuff that you would be associated to do. And generally, you can't get that advisory piece if you're not doing there's certainly an expectation at SME level that you'd be doing those things. So it was like, right, okay, we've got an accountancy practice to build in order to deliver these advisory services, which is really the cream on the top, the bit that everybody that works for us wants to do.
It's the interesting part. So going back a step though, you mentioned something, Mike. You said you joined or started to help Sam grow Gravitate early days. You had one child and one on the way. Maybe a personal question. How did that go with your partner? Hey,
Okay.
I'm going to give up my full-time job and join my friend Sam to go into a startup with 1.5 children. How did that go?
It was a very passionate conversation. Read into that what you will. Full of lots of promises, which is used to by now. A lot of promises of that I'm sure it'll be all right, but it was a genuinely serious conversation that we had to have. But I think I met Sam again because we used to work with each other previously at another firm. I re-met Sam again later on at probably a stage in my life where I was sort of questioning where I wanted to take my career. I was extremely ambitious, but just wasn't getting the results that I wanted. I didn't feel in control at that time. So I was very much at the end of where I needed to be, where I was at. So it was like, look, I have no idea what else I'm going to do. It feels like this is just sort of aligned and I need to do it. So the conversation when I promise you it will work out. I promise you'll work harder because it's ours. And all we did is just put ourselves in a financial position where we could afford to drop our wage significantly and say, pay that off, reduce doing that, don't do that anymore. And really put yourself in a position where you're really agile, and then the belief of it getting better over time. And seeing it did take about 3 months to start getting back towards where sort of nowhere near where I was getting paid before, but starting to see it sort of paying off. And then it just sort of continued thereafter. So some of my promises I managed to keep, some which is working less hours, 4 days a week. No, I probably still do 6 days a week, but she's accepted that one now. And sometimes all promises you can't keep, can you? So
that's true.
4 out of 6 promises I've kept.
I'm gonna jump into the comments real quick because we've got viewers watching. So we've got Mahil. Good afternoon, everyone from London. He's a newish follower of the show. He's great. He always comments. Thank you, Mahil, for commenting. We've got Sam Green. Always nice to see fellow Sheffielders join the FM guest list. Yeah, there you go. City of Steel, right, Sheffield? Great city. All right, then. So, do you guys want a serious question or a jokey question next?
I'm happy with either. I can handle any. It's up to Sam. This is your question.
Let's go jokey. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, Sam's already had some of these already, so that he might have well prepared or rehearsed for these. Like you've had the biscuit question already, haven't you, Sam? Do you remember that question?
Yeah, I do vaguely remember it. Yeah.
Okay, we won't do that one. We'll do another one. Okay, so both of you, if you could eat one meat for the rest of your life, forsaking all others, or let's say one animal for the rest of your life, what would it be? What animal you choose?
If you could eat one, what? Sorry.
One animal or meat for the rest of your life, forsaking everything else. Which animal are you choosing, and why?
I think pig's pretty durable. There's like so many varieties of pig. Like you've got breakfast ticked off.
Yep.
You've got like belly pork. You've got, I mean,
okay, but if you pick the pig, you can never have chicken nuggets again or a steak.
Yeah, steak's a brutal one, but we're not quite our line. Like Gravitate is not quite successul enough to start copying out a fillet steak for breakfast. So maybe we'll make it to the cow one day where we have steak all day every day. But we're not quite that. It is a tricky one now.
I could chicken all day long though, because it's so versatile. There's so many meals that you can do with it. But I think I'd make that choice thinking that's a solid decision to start off with and instantly regret it after.
You never
actually, this is quite boring.
You never get to the point where you have chicken for breakfast. So you're always going to have.
You would have to have chicken for breakfast.
Speak for yourself. I have chicken for breakfast, but I'm of Jamaican. Jamaicans eat anything for breakfast, like it's a cultural.
Yeah,
thing,
that's true. Maybe we just need to adapt a little bit.
Yeah.
So pork for you,
Sam, and
Pork,
chicken for
pork
Mike.
into cow.
Oh, no. Pork into cow.
I don't want to make,
Such
if
an
you ever make
indecisive
it,
man.
steak there. Oh,
You got his
Okay.
kryptonite food.
All right.
yeah, I love food.
Well, to be fair, I've got the so people don't know this. When guests sign up to the show, to make sure they're not bots, I have people answer questions like on the Calendly link, and I've got some of the answers that Sam gave initially from 2023. Let's go through those real quick, right? So back in 2023, one of the questions were, what industry you work in? Accountancy. Great. What business are you representing? Gravitate Accounting. What topic would you like to discuss? Barbecue food mainly. And the best part is, what value will your insights bring? Little, but you asked me to be on. That's literally what you said a couple of years ago.
I do remember that, to be fair.
Yeah. So are you both grillers? Are you both low and slow? You got multiple grills? Or what are we doing? What are we doing, lads?
Mate, no, not for me. Absolutely no chance.
I think basically what happened is you put up an image of you grilling everything at a barbecue. I commented, and then we agreed that I was going to be on the show off the back of that comment. So I think that was centered around that. I'm actually tonight going to a new restaurant that's just opened up in Sheffield, which is literally called Meat. So
now you can have them all.
It's pretty good timing because I'm gonna have them all, because I haven't signed up to Dale's rules yet, where I'm limited on my meat selection. So I'm gonna have the mixed grill whilst I can, So I think because people always I post a little bit about running and exercise and stuff, and I think people expect me to be like a really fit and healthy person, but I literally do that just to counteract my love of food, basically. So it just stops me. I basically know, like, when I start creeping into the 100-kilogram boundary, that I need to act quite sharpish.
Yeah, he acts quite drastically as well. So
it's 100 kilos of pure muscle, right?
Yeah, he did a 72-hour fasting session. I think he does. He really builds it up over the weekend. He comes in on a Monday and he's like, I can't eat for 3 days. just normalise the consumption. And you'll be all right.
Nah, be you, Sam. Don't normalise it. Be crazy. So are you both into kind of fitness and health and wellbeing kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think you're a bit more. Sam's really into fitness competitively, I would say. I'm just all for joining in. I like to take part. So yeah, I'm into my fitness, but it's just any new sport that pops up, I like to give it a go. So
what's
we're
your
into
least
golf,
favourite
paddle,
exercise?
all sorts. Say that again.
What's your least favourite exercise? The movement, the weight, the cardio. What's your least favourite? The one that you hate doing?
That's a good question.
I can share mine if you want to know first.
You start.
Yeah.
Burpees. No matter how in shape I might be, no matter how much weight I've lost, they're always difficult, and they're always painful. They're never good, never enjoyable, ever. Burpees.
Yeah. Squatting's not fantastic, is it? Squatting's, I find it a bit annoying. Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm technically great at. I'm more like just get exercises done. So we do one of our sort of bad benefits we have for our team is called the fitness truck. So every Wednesday, so today we were we've got a warehouse next door, and a truck just comes and parks itself in the middle of the warehouse, and it's got battle ropes, dumbbells, kettlebells that all come off the back of it. And I think probably we're doing pretty well. Obviously, it's just start of the year. I think we've probably got about 12, 14 of the staff who go down at 4 o'clock and do sessions. And I generally do just moan the whole time, because I sort of do it because I know I need to do it. But and burpees, when that is on the sort of schedule for the day, that gets me moaning. But also walkouts, I think they just take ages to do. If you've got 10 or 20 walkouts to do.
What's a walkout? Could you explain it to what people?
Just stand up and then you walk out onto your hands, so you end up in effectively a plank position, and then you walk back and stand back up.
Okay.
I just think it takes really long.
It's a low benefit.
Yeah.
Fair play. Okay, I'm going to zoom in for this one, because this one can get heated. This question. Some people don't
zoom in. Do we need to overlap with each other?
Take a look. We're now zoomed in. We're getting more intimate. We're getting closer. All right.
I don't like that.
If you had the ability to punch one fictional character in the face with no repercussions, who would that fictional character be?
Islands and fictional characters.
I don't really dislike many people, never mind fictional people. I feel like just too busy to want to punch anyone.
Probably the Grinch. Maybe Grinch.
You'd punch the Grinch.
Maybe.
Good film there.
Good film. I wouldn't want to because it'd just spoil it, wouldn't it? But yeah, I mean,
He was annoying.
it's a really good question.
Lord Farquaad, he can be quite annoying. Like, it's just harsh on Shrek, isn't it?
I'll stick with the Grinch. That's a good shout.
Probably some kids ones actually. Oh, Mr. Blippy.
Oh yeah.
He needs an uppercut.
Yeah.
I love how you're specific with the punch as well. Not just a clip, an uppercut. Knock this mofo out.
just-
Mr. Tumble. He's annoying as well.
Yeah,
isn't he? Mr.
all
Tumble
those
get
kind of
on.
overly excited, middle-aged.
You can tell you've got young
guys.
kids. You can tell you've got
Yeah.
youngish kids. Like you know who those characters are. Like
I don't feel right to say this one, but
Probably don't say it then.
we say
Peppa
it.
Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. So
Yeah, but
annoying.
she's
I know.
pork. She's made of pork.
she's a very naughty little pig. There's an episode I remember watching
Naughty.
where I think Daddy Pig's working from home and he's like, Peppa, don't go into my study. And what does this pig little do? She goes into the study and then
I
messes
know.
up his paperwork and then Daddy, I'm like, nah.
And then your kids replicate it. And I'm like, no, turn that off. Like,
Yeah.
that is not good
None
for
of that.
you.
None of that. So since you share with me, I'll share mine with you. And I realized the more I ask this question, the more I add to my list. So I've got 3. That's how bad I am. All right. So first is a character called Neelix from Star Trek Voyager. He's needy and whiny. I'd punch him in the face. Second one is really controversial. Stewie Griffin. That kid needs a slap.
Yeah.
And essentially what I'm saying is I slap a baby, which is really bad. Obviously, I wouldn't do that in real
Well,
life.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And the last one is if you ever watched it, there's a series of called Superman and Lois. It's like a Superman TV show. And in it, Superman's got 2 kids, 2 twin sons. One's called Jordan, and he gets superpowers, and he's a whiny little mofo about it the whole show. And it's like, kid, just use your superpowers. Keeps whinging.
Wow.
It's terrible.
God.
I would
I
punch him
think
and get
TV
away
would
with
be a better place if we all got involved there and got rid of them all.
it. Yeah. Thank you both for humouring me. Okay, let's take it back to business. There are several branches of accountancy, and I joked about, you said the pure accountancy. I was messing with you, but what new services have you got, and why have you now implemented them in your accounting firm? What benefit did they bring?
Yeah, I think for us the new services that we've got is tax and CF are going to be the biggest ones that
What's CF?
that we've introduced today, and CF being corporate finance. And I appreciate some people don't really know what some of those services are. And basically, we work with scaling businesses. And what we find is when you are working with scaling businesses, they want that advisory piece. They want these extra services. And whilst we had really good, strong partnership relationships with other firms, what we just felt like we didn't have was the speed and quality that we wanted for our clients. So we decided over the last 18 months to bring those 2 service lines in. So tax, we brought tax in. It's not just to do the compliance and the tax returns or PLMDs. It's to work commercially with our clients on big transactions, such as if they're acquiring a premises, for example, there's reliefs that you can get there, or if they're fitting out their offices, can get reliefs there. The tax team can get involved in the due diligence on if one of our clients is acquiring a business or selling the business, etc. So working on those sort of big tax piece items, and then we got corporate financing, which again helps us to deliver where our clients do want to acquire a business, so they can help with valuations and the due diligence process around selling or buying businesses. So we've got those 2, and that was tactical of us to bring those 2 teams in because those 2 dovetail off each other quite a lot. So yeah, and now we're seeing our clients getting a lot of benefit from having those services here, so we can quickly transact with the things that they've got going on in their businesses day to day. So they're the two big things that we've introduced.
Yeah, I think, like I say, for us, it's just it was when in the 2 or 3, 4 first years of a business, it's the support we know we wanted. So we do actually offer it as a service to other accountants, whereby they can tap into our corporate finance and tax team, and they'll be rewarded for it as well. So a big thing for us was we're not here to sort of do work on their behalf. We'll involve them in all the conversations and say, look, there's opportunity for you to pick up work here and get paid for it, because we'll be driving that, where what we would probably typically used to do, if we had a client 3 years ago who was like, or I need some like lending, can you help me like pull together a forecast and stuff like that? Well, they start off saying we need some lending, so you're okay, like who can we speak to, what contacts have we got, try and get some lending, and you just get strung along this path of like helping them, but without actually getting paid for it. And they might get the finance, they're dead happy. Maybe at that point you could agree a fee, but they might not equally, and like you'd feel uncomfortable charging them. So, and again, that was just as we grew and developed as a business, like we used to go far too above and beyond too much for our clients. But having like the corporate finance and tax now, we just get them involved from the start. But like I say, we've got a referral partnership where we've got a few other businesses around the country who send us that kind of work, and like I say, we'll make sure that they're paid for their involvement. And if they want to learn along the way, they want to develop and take the next time the opportunity comes up, we'll give them the sort of the roadmap to say, well, this is how you can deliver it yourself, kind of thing. So yeah.
You mentioned that you're doing you had your kind of 6-year anniversary, which is actually quite stupendous because you guys probably know the statistics better than I do. Something like 90% of businesses fail within the first 2 years of starting up. So you managed to make it 6, and then only like 10% make it to 5 years plus. And 5 years is that kind of golden standard. You've made it, you're established. What advice would you give to anyone starting their own business, regardless if it's accounting or otherwise? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, my advice would be, if you can, try and start with the best possible tools that you can from day one. So think like the business that you want to be in 5 years' time. What sort of tools are you going to use from day dot to help you to get there? Because no doubt time will become an issue at some point, and by surrounding yourself with the right tools, such as like a CRM or a sales tool or the accounting software or the add-ons, just get the right tools around you, be able to deliver more at scale. Whereas what a lot of people do is set up and they operate off Excels and really basic sort of files. And I just think that pre-start, you've got more time to set up these systems. Later on, you definitely haven't got the time. So then you end up in this situation where you can't get out of serving your clients for introducing these systems. But if you do it right at the start and just invest from day one, you won't feel the benefits there and then. It'll probably be a bit harder, but you certainly will be able to scale a lot quicker in that first phase of growth.
Solid advice. How about you, Sam? Same thing or something different?
Very similar, but like again, like recruit the best people as well. We probably recruited fairly junior staff members to start with. But like I say, if I could have the time again, I would take more of a risk, because you're like the typical path for most accountants is you're getting really busy. You're now building up a surplus in your bank account, and you're like, oh, I'm going to recruit now. And then you're like, probably natural to accountants, like, oh, I don't want to spend loads of money there, so I'm going to recruit maybe someone part-time or someone full-time. And then it comes down to a salary and all the additional costs, national insurance and pension of paying someone. You're like, okay, maybe I'm going to go lower bracket, actually. And all these things are making you think, just pull it in, rein it in the cost, rein in the hours and stuff like that. And so that's what we did. And like I say, you don't actually create yourself any time, because obviously you're doing it to create time and free yourself up, whereby you can, you basically create yourself more work, because you're trying to continue to service your clients, and then you're training up this person in the background as well. Yep. So like I say, if you could go again, just 100% go like account manager levels, whatever that is. We call them client finance directors, like qualified accountant level, because it's just way more like if you're then trying to grow, we were growing, building relationships with us. So it was sort of like we had a team behind us, but we were holding all the relationships, where really you want to be in a position where you're growing the business, winning work, and then introducing them to an account manager from the start. Whilst if you're recruiting junior staff members, like it's not fair on the junior staff member to be put in that position from the start. And like I say, it's not fair on the client, because they have that all of a sudden big gap between meeting owners of the business and then having their point of contact a different level. So I think, yeah, definitely just back yourself and recruit as senior as you possibly can.
Okay, so to recap, Mike, you're saying have certain tools in place, possibly more expensive tools that you're going to use in 5 years' time. Just don't use the most simplest solution. And Sam, what you're saying is actually maybe recruit more senior people, even if it comes at a higher cost. That's what you're suggesting if you're starting a business. That's a really good idea. But I can imagine those come with challenges, right? So for the tech side of things, the reason why people probably use spreadsheets and Excel or G Sheets is because it's cheaper. And if you're starting up, you've got less capital. And I guess the reason why you hire more junior staff is, again, the senior staff, they either have certain salary expectations that you might not be able to meet as a startup. So it's kind of like, I assume, a balancing act for those two things. Am I right?
Absolutely. And I think one thing that people don't get right when they start out, which can be to the detriment, and sometimes they never get out of it, get that pricing right from the start. So again, price like that firm you want to be in 5 years' time. Everything you're doing so it's scalable. Charging yourself out at what you want to get paid, you will always only be a sole practitioner. And if that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. You'll be competitive, you'll not be short of clients. But if you want to grow a firm, you've got to be charging not as a sole practitioner that's just going to satisfy you. You want to be thinking, well, what if I did have an office? What if I did have a team? What if I did have these expensive systems? Because it's going to be far harder for you. You're creating a rod for your own back if later on you want to try and reprice those clients. Be brave. You'd be surprised at the amount of people who just say yes anyway. You don't have to price yourself low. Back yourself. Some will say no, some will say yes. But pricing right will get you there quicker to be able to pay for the system, pay for the people.
Okay, real talk question for both of you. And this might be a bit too serious, a bit too deep, so you can refuse to answer. How do you deal with the pressure of having staff? Because you guys are both responsible guys. You want to pay yourselves, feed your families, but you now have 30 staff. How do you handle that pressure? Because that is a lot of pressure for anyone having staff, right? How do you deal with it?
Set up proper reporting lines. I think one of the key things that we did is we sort of separated our roles out quite a few years back now as well. And we made sure that nobody manages more than 5 people. So keeping that quite key, because it's quite easy. You set up a practice, you've got to manage everyone, it makes you feel good. But separating out our accounts team and having a head of finance, and then having someone head up our internal teams, and you head up the marketing team and drive the group strategy. Really breaking it up and not everybody trying to do something all at once, because you never really do a good job. If me and Sam and Jonathan are all working on sales, no one's doing a fantastic job. Whereas if somebody just focuses on sales and someone just focuses on the account staff, and having that conversation earlier on, because you all get that excited and you want to be involved in everything, but it doesn't really work well. So I would say that separating that's helped us to keep a little bit sane. But you've got to enjoy the pressure ultimately, because if you don't enjoy the pressure, get out, because it's not going to work. I just shaved my hair off earlier, knowing that's how I cope with the pressure, knowing that I'd lose all my hair in 5
And
years'
respect
time.
to you for owning it as well. If I ever start fading out and going bald, I'm going to do what you do. I'm just going to shave it, own it, wax it up real nice so it's super shiny, and own that baldness. Honestly, own it. Respect to you.
I'm fading. I'm fading quick.
Oh no! Every time I see you, you've lost more and more hair, Sam. There's more and more stress happening. I see.
You're not looking in the right place, mate. If you had a bird's eye view, you'd see all my problems. What I felt like I was going to say something on the back of
the pressure side of it.
I think it was like one of, I can't remember, it was on the Diary of a CEO, but they were talking about like to be a successful entrepreneur, it basically is your ability to deal with pressure and then continue to put yourself back into that situation, essentially. So how good you are depends just how much of that pressure you can take. And like you say, I think a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff is a bit wishy-washy on there, but I thought that was probably quite true. How much pain and the pressure you can basically withstand, and then your ability to learn from that and then reduce it next time that a similar situation happens. It's not a direct quote, obviously, but I think when I heard that, I was like, that's so true. you have to be a certain kind of person to constantly go back and put yourself through the stresses and the pressures of dealing with so many people and trying to keep them all happy, but also dealing with so many clients, and again, knowing, supporting them, but also knowing actually sometimes it's just never going to work, kind of thing.
I think one of the things with the pressure side of it, it's important not just to say, just put yourself under this pressure and you'll be fine. You can't. Like, what we've done with the business is try to create a healthy way around the focus of the business. So that's why we got the fitness truck. We have the food delivered weekly. We promote as many fitness exercise schemes that we can do. So we did 5K a day challenge in January and invited the team. We know in order for us to sustain a high amount of pressure, we need to be mentally healthy and physically healthy. So that's probably why we are always looking after our health, whether that's mental or physical, because we know that the better that is, the more pressure we can sustain. Because you'd be a fool to feel like you can just shut yourself into pressure, but if you're not in a really good state yourself, that it's going to end well. It doesn't. So I think that is such a big piece to putting ourselves under pressure as well, is keeping ourselves healthy.
Cool. Going back on something Mike said, you said the way you deal with the pressure is making sure you've got clear defined roles, and you mentioned people focusing on sales. So do you have a sales director or a sales team that are separate and don't do accounts and bookkeeping services? Are they completely salespeople? Is that what you've got?
Yeah, fully free from the business, apart from the odd little interaction. So that was a focus of getting you off the tools.
Yeah,
people would say.
Okay, so Sam, you don't really do much accounts work anymore. You're purely driving the business.
Someone.
He's banned.
I was like filing a tax return on the Saturday, the deadline day, and I was like, Mike, am I allowed to do this? He's like, yeah, you can do it. Just press that button. It's fine. And yeah, so I think, like I say, when we split those roles up, like I say, Jonathan, who's sort of our long-standing member, third shareholder. He heads up the people. Mike does operations, and I'm more responsible for sales and marketing. So yeah, I think. But I suppose again we had a marketing executive who we've had for a couple of years, and then we sort of realised that if we want to, she was amazing. She won awards for us and stuff like that. But we sort of realised that that's ticking the box for the marketing side, what we want to do, and it's keeping us relevant as much as anything. It's keeping us out there. People know our name, people know our brand. But we wanted to move towards like sales and lead gen work. So we sort of hired a marketing manager in to be a part of that team as well, and that's been a bit of a game changer for us now, because, like I say, we've got our HubSpot reporting and is pretty great. We can see like how all our prospects, where they come in from and how they're tracking, how long they've been in various deal stages, and we just had a really good January, because, like I say, last year was a year of growth. We had all these new services in, so we were just sort of like scaling with those new services, but whilst investing in a market manager, investing in a tax director, investing in a corporate finance director. And we sort of knew that the last year was a year of investing. So we've definitely, it's still a roller coaster. It's not easy, but like I say, we've had a really good January off the back of this building year that we had last year.
Cool. Can I ask you guys a mean question? Super mean. It might drive a wedge between you. I'm warning you. It might not. Cool.
Let's go.
Hypothetical scenario: you're both dropped into the octagon or a boxing ring. Who's winning that fight?
The boxing ring.
Yeah, or boxing ring, or the octagon, whatever. You're in some kind of martial competition, whichever one it is. Who's winning out of you? Who's winning?
It's me all day long. I've seen him punching, and he's just very. You have the fluid boxers that have got a good fluid movement to them. Sam hasn't. He's like, one of them things that you press and the arms just go like this.
The Rock comes like the robots.
He just does it really fast. So I can imagine it's quite easy to get out of the way of.
Sam, do you agree with this analysis?
Boxing is quite technical. And one of my mates was doing one of those training things, and I went to his gym once, and I was so I'm so clumsy, really, from that perspective. So boxing, I'd still win, but you've got a chance. I think MMA or anything like that, where I'm like just using all my body weight and just like like wearing you
Catch me
down.
first.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring it
But
back.
I'm
You're both
quicker
good
than you.
friends. You both work together. You never actually scrap. It's all good. Let's bring it back. Let's bring the love back in.
But to be fair, like what it was, I can't remember who was. You might have been the one who said it. I can't remember, someone said it. Anyway, it was like when you've got a business partner, you need to be able to go to war with someone one night and wake up the next morning and everything is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important that you can argue, you can maybe even get to the point where you're close to fighting or fight, but you wake up the next morning and you're going into work and it's back, eyes on the prize, back onto you. There's some outcome of the previous debate and you go again.
And the only reason you can get to that state, the only reason why you can go into those conversations to come out successful is when you've got this long-term goal, this aim that you're both aiming for, and you both are so aligned with that long-term goal that all you're arguing about is the here and now.
And how to get
And then
there,
when you reflect, you go back to this, well, we're both trying to achieve this long-term goal. We just disagree with this one minor thing here, right now. And that's how you can reset quite quickly, isn't it? Because it's like, and we had heated conversations. Morning. It's just fine. It's done.
Yeah, it has to be done. It has to be done. So I guess what's the question? What is the long-term goal for Gravitate? Are you guys going for like a turnover revenue? Are you looking for a number of staff? Are you going to be a top 10 firm? Like what's the goal? What's the end game, as it were?
I think for us, it's work extremely hard doing what we believe that's going to facilitate the growth of our clients, and we know in turn that's going to, i.e., push our turnover, etc. But we've got a clear, defined moment in time where we want to say to every shareholder to say, you've got an option if you want. You can stay here for the rest of your life. You can sell the shares back to us. You know, we can do maybe an MBO or something like that. But I think for us, it's really important that we've got a period of time where we say it's an option for everybody. So we have a period of time that we communicated to our team recently as well. And we don't know what's going to happen at that period of time. But what we do know is we'll all work extremely hard within that time frame to build this to be the firm that we want it to be ultimately. And if we've had enough in 8 years' time, we want to retire early. Some might, a lot won't. But we know there's going to be something in that period of time. And I think that is super important by doing that exercise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, like I say, we've now got such a good team which goes through so many layers. Like you say, we've got this org structure, and like we've got our like client, what we call client finance directors underneath that who look after portfolios. Then underneath that, we've got like client FC level, and again, we're going down to that level and even the levels below. We've got such a strong team that we need to continue to grow if we want to keep them. So, like I say, I will continue to push the sales and marketing to drive new business because it's going to create opportunities for our team basically. So yeah, like I say, that's the aim. And I think having Martin, who's our corporate finance director, like join the team, we were like, he was going to join us and he was like, okay, but what's the plan? I don't want to buy into an accountancy firm if we're just going to keep the shares until we're 80 or whatever, because there's no value in having shares. Just pay me a good salary and I won't bother buying in. So he helped us, again, a bit of accountability, but also put a bit of a plan in place, was to say, okay, well, we need to create something that, like I say, more so for the more minority shareholders to have something so that they know that this is the option. And like I say, the chances are we will get to that date and everyone will still be hungry to keep growing because we'll be doing a lot of the right things. Maybe we'll bring in more shareholders from the senior management team. But yeah, we've sort of always been open to the shareholding piece. We certainly don't want to just hold it for ourselves. We're going to continue to scale by if the right people want shares and they hit certain targets and milestones, and they'll have earned them and they can get hold of them. That's cool with us.
See, that's one of the things I like about Gravitate. You mentioned this from early days, Sam, when I first met you, and Mike, when I met you at DAS. You want to make it like a team-owned business. But I can imagine from a technical point of view and a financial point of view, that has some difficulties, because obviously you want to share the love, share the wealth, but you also want to make it fair. Are you able to kind of laymanize and explain how you do that? So you mentioned minority shareholders. How do you incentivize staff to make sure they're doing enough work, but also can get a piece of that pie? and how do you work out the percentage of said pie? It's a very
Well, this is why we brought Luke in. This is why I brought Luke, our tax director, in. Because well, one of the things that he's pushing with business owners is growth shares. Because we can't, because we're an accounting practice, we can't do EMI schemes like normal businesses can. So growth shares is the mechanism that you essentially do that by. And essentially you're issuing shares on the day, has a hurdle. So it's worth, say, $1 million on day one. The hurdle might be another $1 million. And then once that business is worth more than 2 million, they start to generate some capital gain on that share, essentially. So it's a way in which you can issue shares to team members with minimal to no tax implications, but you can tie them in without giving them everything all at once, if that makes sense. So that's the mechanism that we do, and how we give them is very different to each person.
Okay, that makes sense. Another question. Sorry, you said because you're an accounting firm, you can't do EMI. What is EMI, and why can't you do it?
Well, I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about EMI means. However, it's a way in which you can give shares on day one if that person, to an employee, if that person hits certain criteria in, say, 3 years' time, such as, business makes so much profit or they bring in so much revenue. Whereas it's more of a bulletproof being able to give it them on day one. Whereas growth shares does a similar sort of thing. It's just an alternative way of doing it.
Fair play, fair play. Do you guys have any questions for me? I feel like I've inundated you. I've blasted you like a machine gun.
We should put some random questions to ask you now, actually, to get some payback.
Should have made it complicated.
Payback.
Yeah.
Which payback? What which shows are you going to this year? Where are we going to see you?
You're not going to see me at any shows this year, unfortunately.
What?
No.
I will explain off screen.
Okay. The little teaser.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't have any random questions. Might just quickly Google a couple now just to catch you out.
What was the last thing you barbecued?
I did a brisket at Christmas. I had a vegan Christmas. Long story. And I needed to have some meat, so I did a little mini brisket. I brined it for like 24 hours, and then I smoked it for about 6 hours. It was delectable.
I hope for some brisket tonight, to be fair.
Yeah. Mike, are you Googling questions?
I'm trying to, yeah.
All right, don't give me that Copilot ChatGPT nonsense. Don't give me no.
I've already done it. Yeah. If you could be any animal, what would you be?
Really? Could be animal. Either a bear or an elephant, one of the two. The reason being they're both top of their respective food chains. No one messes with them. Like they're apex. That's one of those two.
I'll go for a rhino then. Rhino's better.
They can't see very well though. Just funny you asked me that. That's that question that you asked me. It's where the biscuit question came from. So I'll tell you the story of the biscuit question. Many years ago, I used to be a web developer, and I used to go to interviews, and you had to have like a technical portion and a social portion, because as you may be aware, lots of geeky people aren't so good at communication. So I would do the technical part and do okay. I'd be in the interview like I am now with you guys, very clear that I have interpersonal skills. But in the interview, because they had to ask these questions, they'd ask dumb-ass personality questions like, if you could be a car, what kind of car would you be? And I got really annoyed because they're dumb questions. They don't tell you anything about a person. They're just nonsense, right? So what I did in interviews is start asking the people who asked me those questions, if you could be a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be that accurately portrays your personality and why? Don't just pick your favorite biscuit. That's where the biscuit question evolved from, and that's where it comes from. It's my annoyance of being asked dumb questions.
There you go.
So, Mike, if you were a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be that accurately portrays your personality and why? Don't just pick your favorite biscuit.
I don't know. I can't a chocolate hobnob all day long.
Okay.
It's
and
an
how does that
elite
portray your
biscuit.
personality? It's an elite biscuit.
I have no idea. I have no idea how that portrays my personality.
Okay, let's switch up.
I don't know
Sam.
how any biscuit would.
Yeah.
Sam, because I usually don't do this. I don't laugh at this. What biscuit do you think Mike would be in his personality?
I think Mike would be. Let me think.
I don't know which one you'd be.
That's not the question. I'd say like you're going to disallow it because it's not technically a biscuit. I'm going to go Tunnocks. Do you know
what is it?
No, it's like. Do you know what they are?
Yeah, like
Tunnocks tea cakes.
Tea cake. Yeah.
because he gives off this like big, strong exterior, but he is a softie inside.
Beat you up the boxing.
No, you wouldn't. Let's do this, right? Then let's make the box. Yeah, that would be church.
Halle, let's make it a charity thing, right? Gravitate versus Gravitate. Cast your bets. Raise some money for charity. Who gets the KO?
All right, we're good.
So I'm just trying to drive a wedge between you. That's all. I'm just trying to be. I'm stirring stuff that was never there. Basically, I know that you're both high achieving people, or both competitive. So if I asked that question, it would actually turn into a bit of a debate because
you're
both awesome. I'm going to jump into the comments because I've missed some of our long-time viewers. So Debbie Hales, she says, "You made it for the last half." Hey, Debbie, she's awesome. She's been on the show. She's great business owner. She used to run an asbestos company, and now she does like IT stuff. Like she's next level clever. Great. Debbie, just searched EMI, and now I know it's enterprise management incentives. Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah, I would have guessed.
Talking about the brisket. Now I'm hungry. Mehul's back in the comments. Not even Luca Awards, Dale. Date announced is 16th of November this year. No, unfortunately, I will not be at the Luca Awards this year. Again, I'll announce that later for various reasons. Is he soft and marshmallow on the inside? Like
exactly. Debbie knows. She knows him so well.
Right, Debbie, or anyone else listening, by the way. Sorry.
When we started on LinkedIn, and I just put loads of stuff out there. Did we have? I mean, I don't get trolled too much, to be fair, but whenever I did get trolled, Mike would just go after them. He'd be like my bodyguard.
I comment before Sam would comment. I was like, leave him alone.
I mean, everyone's brave in the comments, right? Until they meet you, because Sam, you're like what, 6'3", 6'4", like you're pretty tall, dude. Yeah. Pretty big. Like, yeah, everyone's brave in the comments. Okay, guys. Before we wrap up, thank you both for being on the show. Do you have one nugget or pearl of wisdom you want to leave the viewers? It can be business related, it can be life related. Mike, please go first, because Sam talks a lot.
One nugget of wisdom.
Yeah, one nugget of wisdom.
I would say surround yourself with people. This is a business way. Surround yourself with people that you aspire to be. So try and get in the rooms of people that you really want to be like or operate like. So we're part of Action Coach. We do a 90-day planning session with them. It's a room full of 200 to 250 people that are trying to grow their businesses in our local region. There's no better room in Sheffield right now to be in than that. And I think when you're in business, it's a lonely place. So if you can get yourself around people that are trying to do what you're doing, it'll do wonders for you.
Awesome. Sam,
can we leave it at that? It sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
We'll leave it with that. That's fine. I'll hit end stream now and we'll say bye-bye to everyone. Fare thee well.